good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Gabfest. We are back. It is Friday, and we are ready to gab.
Yes.
And Lorraine, you are back with us today. We say thank you for always availing. No, I mean as in, like, I appreciate the fact that you're always here.
But you're saying I'm back like I wasn't here last week, man.
No, man. It's a point of I appreciate that you're always here.
Okay.
I say thank you for joining me again. Yes, you're loyal. This madam is so loyal. She even sent me a whole exam schedule on this day and this day and this day. We need to make a plan. So, I say donkey.
I've got integrity.
Today, we have two guests in the studio today. You know how we do? We just talk. So, first of all, we have Anneline with us here today. Yes. Sorry, I just had to swallow over there.
That's okay.
We have Anneline here with us today, who will be jumping in. You just want to say hi?
Well, hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm just going to enjoy geselsing and doing what you guys do best, which is gabbing apparently.
Yes, we
so
gab.
Yes, I'm joining the Gabfest today.
You know the way you speak your English.
Oh, I'm sorry for my English.
No, I even thought that you do not speak Afrikaans.
No, girl.
Then she threw in geselsing.
Exactly. And now
why
I'm
she
learning
did
a bit
that.
of Dutch as well, so I'm like,
It's everywhere. Deurmekaar. My kid's favorite word. Mommy, the house is deurmekaar. Mommy, my work is deurmekaar. I'm like, where did you hear deurmekaar?
I like that though. And as long as you're not as deurmekaar as 'n verklein mannetjie in 'n smartie box, then
yeah, that's higher grade off the class.
It's like verklein
a
mannetjie.
chameleon in a smartie box. Yeah.
You're thinking, what? A colorful man. Well, but today, would be a colorful man.
That was a very woke idiom to me.
I just want to say thank you for Lee-Ann for joining us. If you do follow the insights, you are on Thursday Talk with Joan.
Yeah.
And yesterday you actually hosted Talk with Joan, right?
Yes. Our lovely Talk with Joan was out for the episode, but we know that we'll have her back very soon. And it's good to be on Gabfest.
Yeah.
Apparently y'all flow differently, y'all sound differently, so
So
let's gab it up.
Yeah, okay, now my feedback for Lee-Ann is the thesaurus. This one in her English.
Please don't be under pressure.
Yay.
You know when you're under pressure, that's when you slice the most.
You also sweat.
You also sweat. And you made us put the aircon's not off.
Be authentically yourself, Lorraine. Be authentically yourself.
Be authentically yourself, my darling. So we're gonna jump into today. Oh no. Before we jump into today, if you are a gabber, you'll know we always start every episode with choose a number, and because we stopped doing the how you doing.
Yeah.
Because we thought, okay, every week we are how you doing. It's boring.
Just now
it's
you don't
always
want to
I'm
know
okay.
us.
It's like a Wendy Williams. How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah. But we're not Wendy Williams.
No.
Our koppietjies is screwed on like that.
Ek dink dit is almal 'n bietjie skroefloos hier en daar.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I personally don't like all my screws tight.
Exactly. It needs to be able to move, right?
Yeah, need to breathe.
I go and unscrew my own screw. I need to go on like a mad person right now.
So we're gonna start with you. What's your nickname?
Annie.
Annie.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with Annie.
Yeah.
Annie, choose a number from 1 to 100.
33.
33. Ooh. Is there a reason why we're choosing 33?
I don't know. It's just a Jesus number.
Yeah,
Jesus
definitely.
number.
Yeah.
It's a Jesus number. Yeah.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done in front of a mirror?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's a weird. Oh, I think it's rehearsing. Like if I know I'm have to speak somewhere or do something in public, like a public speaking thing, then I would probably go and rehearse. And I don't know if I don't think it's that weird, but that's probably the weirdest thing I've done.
Is it
Yeah,
the weirdest thing? Have you done something weirder?
Nah.
Lorraine, come
Have you
on.
done something weirder?
I have, but I'm not sure of the censorship on the show.
My mind went.
But it's not my question. So
my mind went. I actually did something really weird on Sunday. I had this dress on that had like a little bit of a frill at the back. And I walked past the mirror and I saw my bum look nice in it, man. And then I was like, maybe I can twerk. And I tried doing this whole twerk thing,
So you were
the
twerking in
Burner
front of
Boy thing. And I was like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah, no,
It's the outfit that makes the difference.
Yes.
No, but it's
I
true.
think that's
for
probably the other
years,
thing.
I thought that I could not twerk. I categorized myself that way. I cannot twerk. I'm not a twerker.
I can't
I
imagine
thought,
you twerking.
because I thought you needed, a decent
size.
set of glutes, to do the twerking. But then my cousin, who was a dancer, explained to me that it's not in the butt, it's a pelvic thrust.
Yes.
I can twerk.
And we all have
Wow.
Yes, I can now twerk.
twerk.
And we had to
Maybe you should
rehearse in
teach
front
us.
of them.
Yeah.
We should do a TikTok while the Annie's teaching us how to twerk. I can't
Exactly.
twerk.
I've seen that it's like your leg movement or something as well as the pelvic thing, and I'm like, I don't
Look,
know.
I'm
Like,
not
it's like
the
your
best,
feet.
but I can say that,
You can do it
like
now.
evangeline.
Yeah, we're going to do a video.
Lee-Ann, you want to choose a number?
Yes, I will go with 26.
26. Reason for a number?
It's my date of birth.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm also 26.
60s.
When was the last time you wanted to hit someone?
Hit.
The last one.
Ooh.
Oh, that's an easy one. I'm a parent. Man, an hour ago. I'm not even cold yet.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a
because
good
are you
one.
gangster, man. Gangster.
Yes, they will.
Lorraine, number?
11.
11. Ooh,
No
now we're
reason.
going all the way. No reason, just 11. Okay. 11. What's the most scandalous photo on your phone?
Ooh, a cow steer picture. Like cow pictures, but shame. I mean, so the iCloud.
I always think about that. The more you
For what
hear
now?
about
For like
these
evaluation?
Yeah,
or for-
evaluation.
Is it to see like progress? Is it like progress, or is it just like to
Progress
capture
report,
the?
ne? Yeah, it's
You
a
know?
progress report to see how am I going to look like for my husband.
Okay.
Is it not right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have
gym,
that one.
But I must gym.
You know the
Oh,
one before when
like
you
the
jump,
weight loss.
Yes.
and then you see what you look
Oh,
like
you
in a
have that one.
panty and a bra, and you're like, I need to keep it all in, man.
Yeah. Delete.
Exactly.
Do you guys take naked pictures though? Do you?
I would do the progress pictures as well,
Yeah.
and it does help.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
every time I've accomplished something that I want to reflect on, I'm always upset that I didn't take more. So yes, your pictures are a good thing for you to go back to.
The naked ones too.
Naked ones too.
No, but you know why? I think you have to start becoming cautious about what's on your phone, because you said
Yeah.
the iCloud means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
No,
little
because even on
share.
WhatsApp
Yeah,
now,
it's just
no?
that you just can't be sure of your
Who's
information
hacking?
anymore.
Exactly, and who's got access to it?
Yeah.
Whether it's your kids or
Yeah.
someone
And I mean-
else.
But there's
Yeah.
one thing I now don't really understand. Why is it altyd a boo-ha to see somebody naked? Have we not seen naked people? Like, honestly speaking, as a
But
different...
some people you don't want to see naked.
Exactly. What's new?
That's true.
Like, honestly, why the big thing?
I don't know. I think it's more just a comfortability thing. I think, like if you're confident and you want to expose yourself to people, that's your prerogative.
I
to
think
do
it
so.
goes to what
You know?
someone else is going to do with that picture.
Yeah.
No, my question
Yeah.
is, if it is posted, not
Yeah.
you, somebody else posting it, hoekom is it a hoo-ha? It's not like there's now something new that nobody else has. Like
That's
as
true.
titties.
That's true.
But then remember,
Why are
there's
we getting
that
excited
for
for
me.
immense titties?
For me, my thing is I always think I'm a married woman.
Yeah.
So my mind always goes to that's how men are turned on.
Exactly.
So I would never want my husband to see you in that light,
Yeah.
because what does that do in my relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it is disrespectful, because you need to think about the next woman.
Yeah.
I will never post a picture like that of me, because I think about if someone else's husband sees this, I know how I would feel
Yeah.
with my husband looking at all
Maar
these
as my husband
pictures.
dat so vol met gekleurde mense.
Yeah, it is. It's also illegal. That should be a reason.
It's also illegal. No, but now lately everything flies, eh?
No, but now
Yeah, I
lately they push the bar so much you may as well be naked.
Yeah,
You may-
that's
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
It's
saying.
like you've got 2 strings on you and you call yourself clothed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You
I've
know?
got an actual girlfriend who is from, well, she's a mix of like Russian and like Azerbaijan or something like that. So she's like this real exotic beauty, right? And she's so comfortable in her skin because she's like a yoga practitioner and blah blah blah.
It's always
that
you
she's
yoga
always
people.
taking
Always
like
the yoga
naked pictures of herself. But then like you can literally see everything apart from, I mean, like now and then she maybe covers up her nipples or whatever, but you know, it's fully exposed. And then you can just see the comments come in, you know, and then you realize, like Evangelique says,
It
that
sells, though.
it's more for men to look at than it is for actual women to see the beauty of her, you know, and what maybe whatever she's commented in her post or whatever.
But can some women use pictures to empower themselves, like to encourage themselves, like, you know, and maybe encourage others, especially the ones that's a bit maybe more stout?
Yeah.
That can say, I'm still proud of my body
Yeah.
because this is me.
Actually, it's a campaign I've noticed quite a bit there. Have you noticed? I think like let me think of the shops that
What's
they're
that
doing
lady's
it.
name?
Like Dove, I know Dove does that quite often.
Quite a few of the
Where
shops
they
now they
do.
started using poster girls, but more
Yeah.
voluptuous ones.
Yeah.
And which is
Yeah.
good.
But there's
Yeah.
a difference between using plus
voluptuous.
size versus using them naked. You just
Yeah.
posting a naked picture, because that's what's also trending on Instagram at the
Yeah.
moment. It's, what's that singer's name?
Lizzo.
It's Lizzo
Yeah.
posting a full-on naked picture with the love yourself.
Yeah.
And then you have doctors replying saying,
It's unhealthy.
it's not, this is not natural. It's unhealthy.
Like
You need to
naked
think
porn
about...
or naked lingerie, naked.
No,
but
she
the
goes
sort
full on
of
naked, but obviously you don't
full
see
on.
because she
Yeah.
lifts her leg up
Yeah.
maybe or something like
But
that.
I think with Lizzo though, I feel like she's just doing it for the attention.
Yeah, she is
It's
kind of.
not
It's like a
because
rebellion
she's really
as well.
feeling
But
empowered.
I feel
It's
like with
more-
most people, whether you're skinny or not,
Yeah.
it is for attention.
Yeah.
It is for the likes. It is to get the comment. I don't think it is
Exactly.
for self.
Exactly. I mean-
Nobody posts a picture naked and then says this is
Yeah,
for my
you can take a
self-empowerment.
picture
You do it for the
naked, but you don't
iCloud.
have to post it.
What the
The
iCloud?
iCloud.
Yes, literally the iCloud.
Attention in the iCloud.
No, but it is.
Because if you're doing it for yourself,
You
why
keep it
does
for yourself.
everybody have to?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think there are personal aspects to our body, and then there's something that you can use to empower yourself personally, and then there's some things that you can use to inspire people. But I think something that is meant to be intimate should never be broadcasted to the extent. And also you open up yourself to areas that are not perhaps where you wanted to delve. Like, for example, you were trying to be inspiring, but now you're just absorbing so much ridicule.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's not the attention that you wanted.
No.
And then it also dampens your emotions because now you're
Yeah.
getting all this
Now you're
negative
not
feedback.
empowered
And
anymore.
5 minutes ago, you loved your body, but now you posted it, and now you're like,
Out.
Precisely, because I mean, even Lizzo, although she's like all, you know, like for this body positivity thing, the reality is that she's also had posts where she's like really upset about this and really upset by the feedback that she's gotten from people saying,
But did you see
"Hey,
she's losing weight
know."
now? So my issue with this, if we call it body positivity, you look at Rebel as well.
Yeah.
It was body positivity, body positivity. You look at Adele, it was body positivity.
But
But,
then-
they come
but
back
then
a
we
year
see you,
later
and then you're like-
and they're
Yeah.
a size 28. And then you're like, that means you were never happy in it. You were
Precisely.
using it to gain followers. You were
Yeah.
using it to get
Yeah.
campaigns. It was a whole money-making
Yeah.
scheme.
Well, you just
and
didn't
also
like
to
the
feed
truth.
your ego, because you know, there's. I mean, I'm a plus size person, right? So I can.
Are you plus size?
Yes, I am.
You look normal to me.
I'm on the plus size. I'm the curvy girls. But as a curvy girl, I can say that for me personally, I know that, you know, there was a sort of time in my life where I was like, I'm going to just be body positive. I'm going to post what I'm going to post, and I'm going to like flaunt what I have. But the reality is that I was maybe doing it for the wrong reasons, because I was trying to also lie to myself, saying that I am comfortable. But in the meantime, I wasn't really comfortable because I didn't like the way the jeans fit me.
Okay.
It didn't really hug me in the places I wanted to hug me, etc. And then I went on this whole long, like, weight loss journey thing, which has like been over a period of like 2 years now. now and trying to eat healthy and trying to take better care of myself, etc., etc. So I think that as much as we want to say that we are body positive and that we love ourselves, the reality is that, you know, you're only putting it out there if you are feeling a little bit insecure about something.
And can we maybe change that of body positivity not being about are you looking skinny or big, whatever, but it's about health? Are you feeling good about yourself? Are you mentally okay? Do you eat proper food? Because I can be skinny or
that's why doctors were speaking about it.
You are you are
unhealthiest.
So is that positive? No,
because you could be skinny, but you're bulimic.
Exactly.
And it's also part of the woke agenda. I like the fact that you've mentioned truth when you said your comments, was because the woke agenda tries to give us something and then force us almost to change our realistic viewpoints and then force us to accept theirs. And it's really a woke agenda. I remember Candace Owens actually made a comment on Lizzo's lewdness or her ability to be so free with her body. And she was saying is that you want everyone to ratify the fact that you make poor food choices, that you are not in good shape, and now you want to say, I am body positive and this is the way I look and I'm healthy and I'm happy. You can't be. It's dysfunctional.
It's like Leandra showed me a video once where this girl is busy, I think she was busy doing a mukbang, and she was like, I ordered a veggie burger, and she opens the veggie burger and she's like, oh my word, they gave me the wrong burger and it has all this fat on it and bacon and all these things, and they're like, oh, they gave the wrong order. So everything she opened, it was, oh my word, they gave me the wrong order. And then the comment on top said, yes, they gave you the wrong order, with that dog and the funny eyes. And I found it so funny because you're lying so much to yourself, and you're trying to get people to get to your page. Off air, we were speaking about the things we do to get followers and stuff like that in terms of marketing, that you become so marketed on social media that nothing you do anymore is real.
Hence our topic today, I feel, where we speak about women empowerment, is about more of educating yourself. It's about you and your decisions that you're going to have to make for yourself to stay healthy and not follow what the social media trend is saying is supposed to happen.
Before you go on, for the you're watching right now, today's topic is today's topic is woman empowerment, but we're doing it from a different angle. Last time we did woman empowerment, is it for sale? So we spoke about, is woman empowerment for sale, based on all these new and upcoming things, and it's like pay. So is it empowerment if I need to pay for it? And then today we are speaking about the family structure side of it. So how does woman empowerment impact family? And then we'll go into detail into other things as well, but that will be like the gist of it. Woman empowerment, ... family structure.
So Lee-Ann, seeing that you've got a daughter and a son,
Yes.
2
daughters and a son,
Okay. Does empowerment for you start with the children when they are young, where you have to show the girl and the boy that they are equal, that the boy is not more of this level in the girl? Where does it start? Do you think it starts early in their age, where we need to empower these girls, and how would we actually start doing so?
Definitely. You know what I notice about raising kids, and I mean, you do it innately and instinctively, where the boy is blue and the girl is pink, and those are just the little definitions that you do to raise your kids in. But in addition to those minor infractions like colors, you do get roles, like for example, the girls have to wash the dishes.
I wanted to bring that up.
The girls would have to wash the dishes and the boys would have to do something else. But the truth is that these types of activities and roles should really be life skills. They should be taught as life skills. Like for example, my son is actually a very good cook. And he's only 10 years old. He's a very good cook, but it's a life skill. And the girls can do, some handiwork, but it's a life skill. So in raising them, I try not to give them gender-specific roles. And I mean, I say that cautiously, given the fact that we live in this weird woke society where gender is, gender is like a, you know, a dysmorphic conversation. But there's also healthy things about gender. So in terms of their roles, I will empower them to do things across the board. Like if Judah can cook, then all of you can cook. If he has to pick up the litter outside, then all of us can pick up the litter outside. So I see it more as a life skill. And I think in doing that, then, you know, you don't foster those unhealthy stereotypes even in raising kids. So that's and I think as early as you can do it, the much better it is for them.
If I can jump in there, I would also add to the point where so many times as women we make the mistake of thinking, like how you were speaking about the little tasks around the house. You think you're empowering the girl by making her do the dishes and the boy is busy playing. You think you're empowering by you clean the room, you make up the bed, but I'll make up the son's bed. All those kind of things. And in a way, I've realized with having a girl and a boy as well, that I had to tell myself, listen here, you're doing it wrong, because many a times I would force Scarlett, you're making up your bed. You are going to pick up the toys. You are, and if Isaiah says no, it's fine. I do it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But then I think about it, as an adult now, I sit in my house and I'm like, why do I always have to wash the dishes? Why do I have to make up the bed? Exactly. And then,
I'm not going to raise a problem in another woman's house.
Exactly. But then you start thinking to yourself, and you have this conversation and you think to yourself, what is it that we actually raise our kids to believe what is empowering?
This is true,
because now we end up making nothing against housework, but we end up believing that if a girl can do housework, she's empowered. If you can't do housework, how are you going to get a man? And all those kind of things. And it turns into a thing of, so for me personally, it makes me feel actually less of a person, as where you being raised, you think you're raising this proper, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. But it turns into something being, I feel less of a person, because now when everybody else is relaxing, I must go and do that. And in a way, that can also be, that's not empowering in any way. It is life skills that you're talking about, but we need to get to the point where it is gender neutral.
But I think it's also like the way, Lorraine, but I think it's also the way our parents were raised, that they've kind of instilled those values in us, and it's very much of a cultural thing, I think.
But we need to unlearn.
We need to unlearn it, because if I look at, you know, my sister's relationship with her husband, or even mine with my partner, it's very much of we've now said, you know what, there's no such thing as, you know, if I cook, I now have to do the dishes and I have to clean the kitchen and blah blah blah. If I don't want to cook, I'm not cooking. Like, and I generally love to cook, so I'm going to do that, for example. But you know, if it feels like to me it's now something that's forced upon me, then I'm going to reject it. And and maybe that's not maybe very spiritual and not like a Proverbs 31 woman.
We can go to that. We can go to that.
But, you know, for me personally, the moment I feel that I'm being forced into a particular role is generally when I'm going to resist it the most. And I think we have to get back to the sort of a balance, a healthy balance. Where, like Lee-Ann said, you can still do certain things, but it's not gender specific. So if one of your, you know, if you're in a relationship, if one of you likes to cook, you cook. If one of you likes to do the dishes, that's who's going to do the dishes. And sometimes if you don't like either one, then, you know, you decide, okay, so who's doing it today? And you just balance it out.
So how do we deal with that when it comes to relationships? Right? Where, as you have alluded to just now, that our parents, they instilled the So now you have a man that is still so traditional. And you are more woke because you do the woman empowerment seminars. You get educated now as a woman. The competitions.
Can we identify what we actually think woman empowerment is?
We will definitely do so. But now you've got those two different minds in one relationship. We are supposed to be one, but now we are totally different. What's the conversation, or how do you basically help this man to get to where you are in your thinking and and being peaceful in this house.
Yeah, I think there was a book that you guys shared on the Insight with Pastor Joan, The Love and Respect.
Yeah.
And there was something that, because I went and read the book as well, and I was like, oh, that's good. That's so good. But there was something in there where, you know, the author speaks of, like the woman's, what is it, Lee-Ann? The woman sort of like her love
Language.
her love language, right?
My favorite.
And it was like, you know, if he's doing things like taking, you know, the trash out. Yeah, taking the trash out. Just maybe cleaning up after himself after he's been doing whatever he's doing. You know, that kind of fills your love tank up again.
Yeah, it does.
And that's important. And I think it's once again identifying what are the things that you want your partner to do.
So
And then
basically allowing them
encourage
to
that.
slowly but surely get to where you are.
But like you say a very important thing. And I mean, I must tell you that the type of person I am dutiful, and I cook all the meals, I do all the shopping, I pack all the lunch, I do all the children's stuff. That's me. So I'm mentioning that so that I can say, when you say lelike maniere, there is a truth to it. So instead of, I think, being upset and attacking our husbands or counterparts,
because it makes you angry.
yes, but you must remember that they grew up with that.
Yeah.
They grew up with that, so it's not really their fault.
Yeah.
You know, because they
mothers.
they were raised, and time also, you mustn't underestimate the value of the time, because if you grew up in a certain area, the men sat and we would serve the men. And we would take things to them. You would dish up for a man, and there was a standard. You didn't dish up for a man like you do for a child.
I can do that, James. Still, and I don't mind.
And those are precious, and I'll tell you why. You know, being, I don't know, in this weird generation where, you know, you value things of old, but you can see the errors and how you need to go in the future. But those are valuable because it speaks of a woman's duty.
Yeah.
And you don't have to lose your religion because you're a dutiful person.
Yeah.
And it's also graceful, and it's a nice thing for you to do,
Yeah.
to serve and to reverence your husband's presence.
Yeah.
But now you guys are talking about, okay, but there were dysfunctions created while we were raising our kids and while we were being raised, and now you sit in the situation where you are overwhelmed, you are running everything, you are doing everything, and someone is sitting in the lounge with a remote and relaxing. So how do we take
waiting
joint?
for their plates.
Yes. How do we take joint responsibility for you know, this thing that we are? And it does come with conversation, I think.
Yeah.
Because they also need to unlearn.
Yeah.
Unlearn. It's like, you know what, we are a team here, and as much as I'm required to do these things and lead by example, we have to work as a team, and you have to learn how to do these types of things now.
But you have to be patient.
But
because
it's a patient
overnight.
game.
Rome wasn't built in one day.
It's communication. It
Yeah.
all boils down to that.
Me, I would really go to the fact that I feel like if there's one thing and you're still young and you're not married yet or anything like that, when you get married, you need to put those standards up right from the beginning.
In the
'Cause
relationship,
in the
not after
relationship.
saying I do
Yes,
marriage.
because I always speak about my experience on me finding myself only so much years after the marriage, and I lost myself after having kids. You don't do the things you used to do anymore, all those kind of things. And then it gets to the point where 8 years later, it's difficult to now ask you, please, can you make lunch today?
Yeah,
it's like
why
a
are you
short
asking
circuit.
me?
Since when do I
Yeah.
make lunch kind of a thing?
Yeah.
So I would say to those who are going to get married or you just got married, put those things into place right from the beginning. Don't think, let's first get comfortable, and then, because I think that was also my stance, where I was like, let's first get comfortable, we're getting to know each other, you know, all those kind of things. And you put yourself in this backlog, actually, where you start really hating every act that you're doing, that you were saying now, you making something, but you need to understand. But it turns into you cooking. You usually enjoy cooking, but now because I'm
like
forced
Anneline
to
said,
cook,
it's like I don't have a choice anymore.
I don't have a
Yeah.
choice anymore.
Yeah.
And now with me, I don't really cook what I like because my husband is off pap and steak. So it turns into a thing where you slowly let yourself go in terms of, because I don't want to just go to the empowerment of education, you know, go to this class, but being empowered at home before you go out to the rest of the world, before you get kids. Are you at the point where you can say no? Are you at the point where you can say, okay, no, but can we do this 50-50? Are you
Yeah.
at that point when
Yeah.
it comes to the kids also? You come from school, we just do homework, that's your only responsibility, do homework, and everything else I'm being forced to shout you, pick up this, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So for me, I would also say that is a sense of empowerment, being able to know what your standards are and allowing your household
Yeah.
to fit into those standards the way you mold yourself to fit into all the standards of the people around
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, one of your guests watched the show, the link that you sent me
Oh, yes.
yesterday. So she was like, it's important to know the why. Why
Yeah.
do you need to be empowered? What's the reason for it? Because as you just said now, Lee-Ann, that there's people that love serving their husbands.
Yeah.
And now you come here.
That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Now, but other people make it an issue.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, yo, I'm not empowered enough.
Yeah.
Why am I being a slave? Because this is
Making you
slavery. Making
so
you tea.
true.
I know.
That's so true.
Guys, do not lose who you are fundamentally.
If it works for you.
If
It
it
works
works
for
for
you.
you,
Yes.
it works for you.
Yeah.
But empower yourself in the sense of whatever it is that maybe you want to talk about an issue in your relationship, but you feel like you don't have a voice. Then get maybe insight from other ladies to say, how do I approach my husband with this topic? Because you need to speak up. Because if
Yeah.
you don't speak up, then of course you're going to be resenting your husband for certain
Precisely.
things. So that's part of empowerment.
Yeah.
Not changing your whole family now to say,
Yeah.
no,
I've
it's just
knocked tools down.
I don't do windows.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
that is not empowering.
And
when
you
we're
know
talking
what?
about-
Sometimes you also have to respect your dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you why. It's like so I want to say two things: respecting the dynamic and also managing your expectations.
Yeah.
So
Explain.
So the first one is managing your expectations. I literally, and I tell you this, not a word of a lie, I did not know that men don't pick up after themselves. I did not know that men don't do washing. I did not know that men don't do dishes. I did not know that they can be very messy. I grew up in a house with a father who did all of those things.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I never ever see my father's things on the floor, not even
Yeah.
a sock.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I get
Rude
married.
awakening.
I'm like, what is this? What's going on here?
Did I choose wrong?
No,
Something is wrong.
but then I learned that it was a common thing that women and people were experiencing. It's like
Yeah.
that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that?
No. So then we go back to the second one. Understand your dynamic.
Yeah.
There are things that my husband does that my father does not do.
Okay.
And so I had to appreciate, okay, so this is our dynamic. This is not your strong point, or this is not your area that you particularly want to do something. But there are things that you will do for me, and there are things that you enjoy doing for me, and there are things that you will go out of your way to do. So I could have been blind and say, yeah, but it doesn't matter.
compare.
Yes,
Yeah.
and compare. So
Yeah.
now I just shield that. And I say, you know what? This is what my husband does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
Yeah.
And so we settle into our own dynamic.
Yeah.
And that begins to make sense.
Yeah.
And
And
you know,
it's-
the thing is, they change.
And it's
Yeah.
funny you use that example because so many men compare their partners to my mother.
And
My
the
mother put her
ladies-
curtains up like
and the
this.
ladies,
My
the
mother
fathers.
made her
Yeah,
shoes.
manage your expectations.
And it's funny because that's what women do as well. So the same way men have these expectations, my mother this, my mother that, my mother that, women have those same expectations. I grew up, my father did this, my father did that, or my brother always used to do this for me, my brother always used to do that for me.
Yeah.
So it becomes also a short circuit where you're like, why are you not doing it?
Yeah.
Why are you not doing
Yeah.
it?
And
So I
it's
wanted to-
genuine because you don't understand why.
you don't understand why. So I wanted to change a bit to the side, to go to the woman empowerment side in terms of we want to speak about the structure. Now, not only in the house.
Career.
So let's say in your career as well, or let's say you just do anything outside of the house, which is either organization, either in your job where you're going to better your career, you're going to study further or anything like that. When women start doing this, there is some sort of
Power shift.
there is a power shift, yes, but there is also this notion of people assuming. So we're going to discuss now. Do you think it's assuming? Do you think it is? What's your thoughts on it, right? So there is this notion of when a woman empowers herself, she leaves the husband behind, right? So whether it be in your career, you're up in your career, okay, I now make more money than you. Whether it be in an organization, I always use the excuse, the example, because I've been in Mrs. South Africa, you're in this organization where they teach you how you are better than everything. So you get to that point where you growing as a person, and unfortunately, women empowerment always comes a bit too late, in terms of you don't really get these kind of things for young girls where they're already empowered before meeting a partner, right? So now you're
That
older,
needs to change.
you get empowered, people is shocked by your personality change based on your empowerment. Do you think it is a thing because I'm empowered, I think I am better, or do you... Just any thoughts before I go to the next point?
Yeah. I think before we go on to, or before we sort of, delve into that, I think the one thing that I want to comment about is, I think that we've lost track that the idea of being an empowered female has to mean we have to disempower men.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yes.
that's something that we need to start teaching our younger females or younger
We're not in
women as they grow
competition.
up. There is no competition. We can have a strong man and have a strong woman.
Because what we're doing
And
now
that
is
can
we don't need
balance it
men
out.
anymore.
Exactly. And I think that's where a lot of our younger, females are finding themselves in these really toxic relationships, is because they start out thinking that because I'm an empowered female, I don't need him. Like, no, the reality is you do. You still need a man for a lot of things, and they should also be celebrated. They should also be cherished and what's the word? Not exalted, but they should also have
More
their moment in the
acknowledged
sun.
based on-
Do you know what I
based
mean?
on the fact of what
it
they
shouldn't
bring to
be
the
that we
table.
just now sort of, constantly are male bashing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good guys out there, and if we keep pressing them down, they're going to push back, and
They
we're
will
not going to
push
like
back.
it. So sorry, that was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think it falls quite nicely in there. And there has been a drive to emasculate men, I think,
Yeah.
on many levels.
Yeah.
But I mean, growing together is, I think, fundamentally important. I think it depends on the female's attitude towards empowerment, because then we just become the script merely can flip. I don't know if you guys have watched this on Netflix. It's a series called Beef.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
you watched
actually
it?
going to start it.
I love that show.
You have to
I
watch
watch
it.
anything
It's
Asian.
so good.
And you know
It's
what?
so good.
I saw something so interesting there. So if I can just explain,
Yeah.
if someone's
Yeah.
watching that hasn't watched it.
Sorry. You can still go watch it. I never
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
how
yeah.
people say, you tell me what happened. It's like, I
No.
told you everything in 2 seconds. Do you honestly
Exactly.
think
Yeah, exactly.
you can't
It's
watch
so
it?
good.
So it's a mini series, and you want to go watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it centers around 2 chief characters, which is they develop beef because of a road rage incident.
Yeah.
Okay. But the person that I want to speak about is Ali Wong, which is the main
female,
character.
yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
main character, and she is in a very peculiar dynamic, and it's a very new generation type of dynamic.
Yeah.
So she is the breadwinner. She is the successful person. She's the career person.
Yeah.
And her husband has elected to be at home.
The stay-at-home
mom, dad, and raise.
But based on the fact
kids.
that he comes from a wealthy family
and
as
he's
well.
got money, so you
Yeah.
know he's maybe his ego and his dignity would
Yeah.
be intact.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, she's the chief provider or the breadwinner. So this is the dynamic that exists, and in today's day and age, I don't think that it's far from a
Far-fetched,
possible
basically.
situation.
No,
Yes,
it's-
it's very. I think it can be quite prevalent.
Yeah.
Actually. So anyway, the dynamic that you start to see though is her taking on almost masculine traits.
Yeah.
But she
That
has
happens.
she has managed to keep a balance in the sense where she reveres, is respectful, and honors her husband.
Yeah.
So she would be like the epitome of an empowered woman, but still a dutiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see something else that's quite interesting is the husband. He becomes, and not by her doing, but he adapts a lot of feminine attributes,
Yeah.
which makes him quite a feminine person.
Yeah,
you know?
makes him
It
quite
does, it
salty.
does.
I'll tell you what it did to me. It gave me an understanding, and I also developed some kind of compassion.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
It's so funny that you're saying that, because now I'm looking back and I'm like,
Are you
that's so
seeing that?
true. Because
Yes.
I didn't notice it.
No, I developed so
Exactly.
much compassion for both men and women, given the fact that those were always our roles.
Yeah.
And we were the ones being cheated on because when empowerment happens and the split happens in a relationship, and you're up here and your stay-at-home counterpart is down here, it can be heavy on the relationship, because you're not going to stimulate me. You're going to be so uninterested.
Yes.
And you on here are nurturing and nurturing. You're not meeting my needs. You are just so far gone. So that's the disconnect that I think happens, that I saw in the relationship. And you know what, I'll tell you as well, you know, we can villainize men for being unfaithful in their relationship. But I tell you, after watching Beef for the first time, I was like, I can see how you had to do that. I'm not forgiving it. I'm not tolerating it. Infidelity is not good in any relationship. But I could see, it's because you became something else. And we didn't stay together. So I think there's a dual responsibility when it comes to empowerment. Firstly, that if you are the one being the nurturer and sacrificing, you must keep up. You must make that decision to keep up. And if you are the one that's rising, you must stay humble. Because you're not going to stay up there forever. And in a relationship, I think the maturity and experiences do this. They fluctuate. They're never one thing. And like you rightfully say, women marry possibly in a less mature way. But the thing with women's maturity is it happens consistently over time. I mean, the woman you were as a person dating, and the woman you are in 10 years of marriage,
totally
completely
different.
Agreed.
So Beef is a good.
It is.
I like what you
like
said.
live lessons.
I like what you said about the old, when you were using the example, one being up here and one being down there. And I feel like many times as women, we say if a man is up there and they're not building you to get further in life, that means he's not there for your needs or whatever. But it's the same way then with a woman. If a woman is more educated, let's say, are you pushing your partner to say, go finish matric, you know, go do these things? What is it that you want to be? Because many times that's what men are doing. Men are the ones that saying, what do you want to do with your life? Don't you want to get up today? I've experienced my own husband, and I know friends' husbands that's done that. When the wife feels down and out, and the husband is like, we'll make a plan. What is it that you want to do? Let's just push. We'll put something aside. Do what you want to do. But as a woman's side, I've never heard a woman or my friends that think they'll rather just say, you're not, like, you know, it's more of a, I'm speaking down on you. When it comes from a man, it's like, we'll do whatever we need to do. How much money do you need? But when I've heard women do it, they're like, you were useless. You just sit on the couch the whole day. You this. So it comes, it comes from a place. It comes from a place where we talk down to you rather than a place of inspiring you to move up.
But then isn't that where the problem really starts, where what the Bible must now say is that the man will be in the field, basically in today's time is the worker, right? And us as women in the Bible must now have to prepare what the man is bringing and stuff like that. So now is it because of maybe men, as their dignity, their respect, they feel it comes more from financial stability, what they can bring into the house, and the woman then only respects a man that can provide. Right. So other people, maybe it might work for them to have a husband that stays at home, but at the end of the day, she's gonna get frustrated because this man is not really in his role. So can we maybe clarify what is maybe the role of a man taking finances out of this whole conversation?
Your example with Beef was perfect. Based on the fact that based on the fact that he's doing the homework with the daughter, he's doing the school pickups, he's doing the hair in the morning, and what you said makes so much sense, that he kind of becomes salty looking, so he takes on too much feminine side, so which could mean, because I've also seen a lot of women where the man becomes unattractive. What woman is attracted to a salty man? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think that would also play in what you're saying. If you're not bringing finances in, because he had money in Beef, but because he's doing too many feminine doings, his whole nature changed.
It did.
That's true.
I think it's, I mean, I'm going to talk from personal experience. I love a man that's dominant. I love a strong man. Like, I really do. Like, if my partner says, honey, we're doing this, I'm like, yes, baby. Whatever you want.
Alpha male.
I love an alpha male.
So that's what I'm asking. Can you still be dominant as a man without bringing the finances in?
And I
Except that
think
Beef,
that's
money,
in Beef.
family thing,
I think if we go back to that same storyline, I think with Beef though, he loses that ability to like
Be a man,
to lead his family.
He does.
And I think that's what makes him then unattractive.
Because
Because he's not
That
being
is
the one
true.
that says, honey, we're doing this.
Yes.
She's the one that comes in and says, oh no, honey, I can't do it because of X, Y, Z.
Mm.
And I think
not
that's
feeling
where
well
he
today.
loses his appeal, is because
And
he's not being a man.
That's why I'm
you
using
know?
that excuse, because he has the money. But
Yeah.
he is still losing the aspect because
Yeah.
you're asking, so taking money out of it. So he's not poor.
No.
Neither is he not doing anything.
And she's not emasculating him.
Exactly.
she's not.
But because he's doing so many feminine
Feminine
things,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's no longer good looking. Because when you start the season, you're like, this guy's hot.
He
Yeah.
is.
And then as it goes, you're like, are
When
you
he starts-
sure?
When he starts with the whole like, take a deep breath, honey. We need to like, you know,
Yeah.
and then you're like, wait, what?
So what is this thing teaching us, Beef?
Oh, there's so much.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
it's
Okay,
loaded.
we could do
I'm
a
just
show on
Using
that.
it because she used it as an example. I was just using it as
No,
an example.
honestly, just focusing now on
Yeah,
this man.
yeah.
What's the point? What is the outcome?
the lesson.
The
outcome.
lesson for
Yeah.
men.
You know, I think it'll be individual. Really, I do. But I want to echo what Anneline is saying. Is this he becomes so unattractive,
Yeah.
and I'm latching this onto another concept. You know, for a long time, females have been fighting for equality.
Yeah.
We have been
Yeah.
equal in pay, equal in job opportunities. It has been a strive for generations of women.
Yes.
And that has got us to the place that we are at now. So we have made a lot of progress. But, and then Jordan Peterson, he makes this study. Obviously, I am not a professor, but I'm going to try and paraphrase basically what he's trying to say. He says that in an equal society, you will find that women still, if all things equal, women want to do the things that women want to do.
Yeah.
They don't want to be man. So if things were equal in the society, I would still maybe want to be a nursery school teacher. I would still want to do my children's hair.
Yeah.
He's trying to say that there's something innate and natural. And there are certain things that women incline themselves to because that is our natural response.
Yeah.
And men would still want to do the engineering and the maths.
Yeah.
Not to say that women can't.
Can't.
Because we're talking about an equal society
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
do both.
Yeah.
So if you have an equal society and you have a girl and a guy, they will still say, you know what, I actually like engineering. And the other one will say, you know, I actually like teaching kindergarten kids.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that what you picked up on is that there is an innate desire to do things that are perhaps in your gender and your role.
Yeah.
But what we mustn't do is victimize those people that fall outside of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Yes, because if you are a mathematically gifted girl, you should be able to do engineering
Yeah.
and not live in a victimized environment
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
So all things equal, what I learned from Beef was that I like a man's man too. Because that sissy boy that he became was like,
Yeah,
I
too
mean,
much,
she
huh?
was so gracious to him, Lorraine. I would have possibly been disrespectful.
Yeah, because that happens.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
I'll be like,
people divorce 'cause
yes,
men,
sis, this is
most-
you.
they say men love when you give them respect because they identify
Yes,
that as
yes,
love,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Exactly.
But I mean, the way he was behaving, I don't have a strong regard for it. So I would have possibly, you know, and I'm saying worst case, I could have been a bit disrespectful. Like, can't you get up and do something?
Yeah.
Can't you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Those
Yeah.
words could come out of my mouth in that situation.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She maintains her
respect
respectful
for him,
decorum.
yeah.
Yes. I do appreciate that. But I do like a man's man. I like my husband to be a man. And when he plays into that role, man, I get butterflies.
Yeah. I was
If I
about
see
to
my
say
husband,
that.
if I
It's
see
a
my
turn
husband
on.
in a
It's a turn
suit,
on.
It's a
yeah,
turn
it
on.
is. If I see my
really
husband in a
is.
suit, you know, I can blush after 15 years of marriage.
Yeah.
So there are
Wow.
things
And smelling
that,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
that, oh, yes, you see, you did it again. Instinctively, it appeals to me.
Yeah.
It does appeal to me. And so, like Anneline said, you acquiesce, can you say, yes,
Yeah.
honey. You know, I can't do it for myself, but I like the
But
when you do
yeah.
it.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
Anna, how does woman empowerment? What does it mean to you? How does it look like?
Ooh, I think I would probably see it a little bit differently in the sense that I think that, you know, when it comes to a woman being empowered, I think I liked what you said earlier on about, you know, having the freedom as a woman to then have those conversations that might be uncomfortable in your own home. I think also in the sort of workplace or corporate environment, I think that it's great that we we have the ability, and I think I may say something a little bit controversial, but I think as women, we've always had the ability to speak up in corporate society, right? I think it's just that now we're putting more emphasis on it, and for branding and marketing purposes, it sounds good, right? But we've always had that ability to speak up. We've always had the leadership roles available to us. Maybe some of us were just not the right fit for it. Maybe some of us... I think, you know,
the pay was different though.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I've been in corporate, you know, for many years now, and I know I can say that there were spaces made open to me. I think that can sometimes be a bit of a cop-out. Because some of us are just not meant to be leaders, and we
do you think that's what it is?
And I think sometimes we are pushing something that may not be specifically for us. It sounds good because everyone wants to be a leader, everyone wants to be the boss, everyone wants to be the boss lady and the boss chick and whatever else. But some of us aren't cut out to be that, and that's okay.
And some men as well.
And some men aren't either, and that's okay. And we should be okay with that. Not everyone has to be the chief. There has to be the chiefs and Indians kind of thing analogy. But you know, some of us can just be leaders and be followers and be okay with that. You know, we don't have to be out there in the forefront, and you know. But I think going back to the whole topic of women empowerment, I think that being able to speak your mind, to also say, look, I may be not cut out for being, you know, the CEO of some company or the MD of some company. I'm okay with being an empowered female as a housewife.
Yeah.
You know, and that's good for me. That works for me because I still get to say my say. I still get to feel strong and empowered, but maybe at home. You know, nurturing my family. And I think that's something that we're no longer talking about. We're so focused on the whole career-driven thing that we forget that those are still... Because bear in mind, some of us had stay-at-home moms who were strong, who were still dominant, who were still able to like rule their households with like an iron fist. And I think we've forgotten that could also be seen as, you know, an empowered female.
I think when you say that, it brings to mind one thing, is that as long as you have the choice.
That's the thing. That is the empowerment.
That is the empowerment.
If the choice is taken away from you, then we have to fight for it. But if you have the choice, your choice is good. Your choice is good enough.
So I also wanted to add on to what you were saying in terms of, in my eyes, I would say the same thing. What is empowerment? For me, going back to that is woman empowerment for sale. I think us as women needs to get to the point as well where we believe that your career is not your empowerment. And I think that's where the mistake comes in. That is what is being driven on social media. And sorry to take it back to social media, but that's where the comparing comes. Somebody that's not on social media, you'll never hear them have those kinds of conversation because they're not put under that pressure. But what happens is, everybody's starting a new company now. Everybody is doing this. Everybody is doing that because that is what empowerment is. I've been to more than enough empowerment sessions where they teach you what is empowerment. And I feel that it in some way, yes, it is quite empowering if you are opening up yourself to other forms of empowering. But if that is all you're telling yourself, I need to do this in my career, I need to be this boss, I need to start this company, I need to, all those kind of things. In my eyes, that is not empowering. In my eyes, empowering someone, if you want to say this is a woman's empowerment, it would be, I'm making you comfortable in your skin. We were speaking about it before the show. Where we were saying, am I comfortable with who I am? I'm not posting anymore to get a like. I'm posting now because this is just for me. I'm feeling good today.
That's called true empowerment.
Exactly. So it gets, for me, it goes to that side of it. I'm empowered as a woman if I want to go the career-wise. But then don't hate on me if I want to be somebody that sits at home, because there's this thing on the internet as well, where people that is empowered in terms of career, it's a we matter too kind of a thing. Then you have your moms at home saying, yeah, we also, it now becoming a fight as in which empowerment is more important, as where it should be just guys.
And it's a little
yeah.
narcissistic as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think our society's become very narcissistic in the sense that we all now, like I said, everyone wants to be something, right? And someone. You don't have to. You can be like, I'm chill. I'm cool.
You're chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
empowerment means, are you positive? Is your mindset positive? Because everything starts there. Are you
Yeah.
healthy? Are you eating healthy? Are you a good mother to your children? Are you actually a good friend? Do you contribute positively to another woman's life in society? Do you perhaps, like for me, this conversation right now should be empowering for other people. So we are empowered because now we're trying to invest in other people's lives. As socialists say, it's not corporate. It's an internal, it's an individual thing to get empowered. Because if you're happy, your family is happy, your friends are happy, society is happy. So it trickles down to everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's my perspective about
I think it can
empowerment
also
and
look
being-
like different things depending on who
To
you are and
different
where you
people.
are. Like if I think about Middle Eastern women, there's very little empowerment
Yeah,
there.
no.
And their choices have been taken away, and they still have to fight for all of those things. So they are disempowered.
Yeah.
They can't even hold an attitude of empowerment. They are completely disempowered.
No rights.
Yeah.
But I think for our culture, and you mentioned social media, I think people want to create the facade of empowerment, and that's often the toxicity that plagues social media is the facade of something. You want to put out something that is unrealistic, untrue, and even shallow. And you said, what is the why? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
What need are you meeting by creating this facade and living for external praise? Why do you need so much validation?
Yeah.
And for me, empowerment comes from a place of truth. If you can earnestly say, I know who I am, and this is how I want to carry out and live out that truth, then that is empowerment. Because our society, South Africa, we have freedoms. No one's persecuting us. No one is taking away things from us. There is space for us. So there's enough for you to make a choice of empowerment.
Yeah.
And as long as as long as it's sincere empowerment, it's fine. I dislike the facades.
Yeah.
And it's stronger when it comes from a place of truth.
Yeah.
And I mean, people also perpetuate dysfunctions. Like, you want to be so empowered, but your house is so disorderly.
Exactly.
Like you say, you can't hold down a relationship, but you're empowered.
Yeah,
You
how's
know,
that
taking
possible?
butt pictures, but you know. That's empowering. Yes, that's so empowering. Look at me. Here's my whole face now. Yeah, that's for you. That's not disempowering. It's
disillusion.
Yes.
It's
disillusion.
It's the-
Yeah.
And even with the point of why is it though, as women, you want somebody that has their 1.2 million followers, or somebody that is famous, or somebody that has a business, or I always say, I get angry. I'm not taking away from your degrees or anything like that, but I get so angry when people introduce people in front of, like, if you're going to go speak somewhere, this is Evangelique, she has this, and they mention all these degrees,
accolades,
and and it's like, okay,
titles.
so if the next person comes now and
they
says,
don't
this
have
is
no
Evangelique,
title.
no title, this is Evangelique, but she's been through this and she's going to speak to us today.
Yeah.
You will notice that the crowd takes in every single thing
Yeah.
that this person with all their degrees has, but
say.
it could
Yeah.
be a whole lot of hogwash.
It could be complete nonsense.
And then you
right?
have the person that's living off experience, and they share so much nuggets on how to get through this and how to get through that,
Yeah.
and somewhat we formed that's empowering, but because you don't have anything, that's not empowering.
Yes.
So if we can get to a place also where you listen with a proper ear and not listen with what you have.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that's what's happening with society today as
Yeah.
well. You listen with who has the degrees, who has the followers, and who has the fame or the finances. If I can put the finances, because
Yeah.
many a times I've noticed in my circle,
Yeah.
if you rich, everybody wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones that have so much to say and they so impactful, but nobody's giving you the benefit of the doubt because you don't have a degree. You maybe didn't finish school, or you did finish school, but you know, certain things like that.
But you don't have
And
a lot of followers.
You don't have a lot of followers. You're not financially stable or financially where you want to
So
be.
you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
Well, I
like,
think
so
it's-
you
yeah,
have
but you
no
know-
say.
You know what,
People judge
Evangeline?
you.
We have to keep you truthful here because you are comparing things that can fall into two different categories.
Okay.
Like, for example, followers and degreed people. You know, as followers can be quite superficial. But if someone has managed to go through a tertiary education and sacrifice and do that, we can't invalidate.
I'm not saying
No, not in
invalidate.
that
No, I
sense.
think
I'm saying
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of talks
Yeah.
where
So
I've
let's say
been-
the talk has nothing to do with your
Yes.
it
degree.
has nothing to do with
Yeah.
your degrees.
It has nothing to do
There's
with
been
your
a
degree.
panel. There's been a panel. Somebody would be on the panel that shares so much, but nobody knows who this person is. And when they introduced me, they said, "This is Lorraine."
Full stop.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Right?
But who would
Then
do that?
Some
it
people
happens
do.
at every woman's
Some
empowerment
people
event
do.
I've been
Yeah.
to.
They would say,
I've
so
never
you're
been
saying,
to,
you're saying
because
in a
people
realistic
with
situation,
degrees,
yeah.
Yes.
they want you to know they have a degree.
Yeah.
So I'm saying when it comes to something where the topic,
Yeah.
let's say for example, this is a woman in today. Hi, this is the insights. We're speaking about women empowerment today. We have Lee-Ann
Pastor
on
Lee-Ann.
the
She's got this.
no, I'm using this example. I'm
this.
saying what I want.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is Lee-Ann. She will share her story. This is Annelie. She will share her story. This is Lorraine. We will share it. And then we all speak. Now you go into the room with no expectation from everybody, and I listen to everybody with the ear. What can I receive? But what
Because
happens
the introduction
now?
was on the same level.
The
Yeah.
introduction is on the
Gotcha,
same level.
gotcha.
I'm not taking away your accolades. I'm saying on this panel,
Yeah.
we are speaking, for example, I'm just using the example because it was last week. We're speaking about motherhood, right? She could be a psychologist that only deals with mothers who is in depression.
And maybe
And
she doesn't have a
you-
child.
And she doesesn't have a child.
Mother of
You, a mother of 10, let's say you're a mother of 10, you go through this time
But
in
you have
and
no
time out, but you have
psychology
no
degree.
psychology. Yeah.
But the weight must
what
be in your
happens what happens is, if you do this whole thing about this person has this, I'm not saying I'm not taking away your accolades. Nor am I saying it's disrespectful not to do it.
Yeah.
But I am saying if everybody on the panel had that kind of degree and everything like that. But what I've noticed is if you with the degree or you with the follower, you're the famous one, you're the this, everybody gives you
Focuses.
the attention and the respect.
Yeah.
And then when it's the next person,
They can
people
even
get
walk
up,
out.
this is toilet time now,
Yeah.
this
I've
is
seen that
this
happen
and this
too.
is that.
I've seen that happen, yeah.
And I've noticed that that's what happened because
Yeah.
society made that important. Society made important, you studied. I'm not
Yeah.
saying, I'm not taking away. Studying is difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult to start something and finish it. So you need to be appreciated
It's
for
just like when
something
you put
like
somebody
that.
on the platform at church, maybe that's
Yeah.
not an accountant or doesn't have a status, and they do the tithe talk, ne? And then now you take the poor one to do the tithe talk. People like, you poor.
You don't have
Exactly. Like you're unworthy of that.
You can't be talking about that,
Yeah.
but they're
there
not
is something-
understanding.
But
that.
this is an interesting
that's my
conversation for me.
example that I'm saying.
So we have to venerate this, I think, in a way where we don't want to sound like player haters.
No,
No.
You know what I mean?
I'm
You
not
don't-
saying.
you don't wanna-
I'm just saying, in terms of, remember, we're speaking about empowerment.
Yeah.
No, I'm with
saying
you.
people from the outside.
Yeah. The
Let
audience,
us
basically.
not. I'm
Yeah.
saying, can
But
we
they are
please
also-
not
they
do
are
this
also-
because that's what we're doing.
They are also, that attitude has been cultivated
Yes.
by this fake facade social media vibe.
Yeah.
So people run, it's like shiny things. People
Yeah.
are running towards the shiny things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I respect that is true and that is wrong. I respect that. But I didn't want us to group everything together where we invalidate people who have
Achieved
put
those.
in the time to get to a place where they can speak about something on an authoritative level. I'll give you an unrelated but similar example. Like within the church fraternity or in our church industry, you have these people, and I'll use this because it's an example that can be close to you. Your father has studied for
Many years.
and he has achieved and attained a doctorate. Now we call him Dr. Carl.
Yeah.
There is another that has come and filled out an application and sent it somewhere and now is received an honorary doctorate, and we call both these people doctor. So now we both come in and we call them doctor. But the truth is the value is completely different.
But you're just adding to my point.
Yes,
because once we speak, you will hear who's the right doctor
Yes.
if we listen to both of you.
But
now
social media
because you're
says that
fake
just
doctor,
be a doctor, even if you have to
can
apply
buy
for
it.
that.
You
Yes.
can buy it.
So I'm saying there will always be those. There will be those that cling to the limelight.
Yeah.
At the expense of their souls. And there will be those that are always prepared to put in the work.
Yeah.
If you are a person that has value to offer, but hasn't perhaps been as shiny as one can be, I would say to you, you have to take the higher ground. In other words, if you're going to play the game, play the game. If you are going to accept that may not be as accomplished as the next person, but I'm going to reframe my story in a way where you catch the essence of me, so that I am not invalidated when I am put on a podium with other people. In other words, you have to tell your story the strongest way you can, given your most sincere context.
which I won't take away, because then that's how people notice you. But then unfortunately 80% of the room is not there. It's now up to the 20% to say, did you hear what she said? So I'm not taking away anything you're saying. I agree, but I'm speaking from the side as I'm the viewer now.
You're the
and
audience.
you're the
Not the
audience. I'm the
speaker.
audience. I'm not the speaker. I just need to have respect for everybody that's on the thing, and that's where I was kind of going with it. So I don't also want viewers that's watching now to think that I'm underestimate what would the word
Well,
be?
taking away
I'm
from those that put
taking
in so
away
much
from-
And I
work
think,
and stuff.
I think to just add to your point, I think what you maybe we're also trying to get to is the point as a viewer, as the audience member watching and listening to someone speak. Don't judge the person based on their credentials,
yeah.
right? Judge them based on the content of what they're actually speaking about. Look at them, based on their experience, because the thing is, the reality is you can have a degree in something, and once again, not disrespecting or dismissing anyone's education here, but you can have all of that sort of theoretic knowledge.
You can be book smart but not street smart.
Exactly. And there's certain experiences that have to be learned or experienced. So I think it does mean that we just have to use wisdom when we are listening to these speakers, and anyone, whether it's on social media or in public or whatever the case may be. It needs to be someone that has that adds substantial value and knowledge and insight that can be brought from both sides, either street smart or book smart. Either way.
So I'm just saying to the viewers,
Be
listen
respectful.
to
Yeah.
everything
Yes, be
that you are being told to do.
Yeah.
Because there is, I've been to a woman's thing as well, where they speak so bad, like you were using the example of how you speak down on men.
Yeah.
And they speak so down on men that so many people that go through this platform end up leaving their husbands. So I'm saying it's also people,
It's crazy.
the people speaking have degrees.
Yeah.
They have these companies, they have all those things, but you're not listening.
got no
you know that
values.
saying that listen with a pinch of salt,
You
take it
must
with a
sift
pinch
it.
of
Take it,
salt.
you must sift
You
it.
need to sift it and know what is.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that as a viewer, sift every form of information that you get. Don't just listen to the ones you think are the ones that shiny, like you used the example.
And also, my partner always, one thing I love about him is he always reminds me to question everything. Question whether the information that someone is giving you is applicable to you, whether it's something that you can actually utilize in real life or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we've become people who just want to take whatever information, and then because so and so said, oh, I must go on the keto diet, now I'm also going on the keto diet. Is it applicable to me? No. Is it going to help me? No. But because so-and-so said I need to go on the keto diet, I'm now going to do it. So we have to take it and then really evaluate whether that is something that is relevant to you or not.
So actually you're saying that empowerment is common sense. Common sense
Yes.
is empowerment.
Yes.
No, my grandmother used to have the saying. She used to say, and I think it's to your point, hoe geleerd, hoe verkeerd. And it's basically saying there's more to life than book smart.
Yeah.
And I also want to, there was a documentary that came out.
After this,
What
we're
is a
closing,
woman?
right?
Yeah.
What is a woman? And he postulated a very plain question: what is a woman?
Yeah.
And
Matt
if you look at the people that he interviewed, they were on the academic premier list.
Yeah.
You had all these people that were highly accomplished,
Very smart.
doctors, professors, academics. You would ask them the simple question, what is a woman? And I think the point of what you're saying is that you do have to test things that people are giving you.
Yeah.
You do have to filter it.
Yeah.
And you do have to apply common sense. And I think at that point, you can consider yourself an empowered person.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Gabfest. If you are still here, we want to say thank you because we went so way over time, but we are so thankful that you watched us today and that you have joined us today. I want to say thank you to Anneline for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And then thank you to Lee-Ann from Talk with Joan. If you liked her vibe, you can catch her every Thursday on the Insights as well. So thank you so much, Lorraine, again for being here. And yeah, we hope to see you same place, same time next week. Have a good one. Bye. Bye.